Hi there folks, welcome to today's video. As it's pretty much become a commonplace on this channel, I'm going to be talking about the F1. Now, I had two choices to do today, either my monthly review for June, because Christ, it's the end of June, we're now 6 months into the year, or just talk about the F1 because I've been using this wheel here to do a lot of F1 2019 recently, and I've been doing pretty much reviews on the day for every F1 race this season. And, well, the Austrian Grand Prix certainly threw up a few surprises. So firstly, there was qualifying, where Charles Leclerc managed to get the second pole of his career. Thanks to penalties, Verstappen was second. Hamilton was only demoted to fourth because of the kind of blank driver rule, which I don't think anyone really particularly understands. And, well, Daniel Kvyat ended up being knocked out because of getting held up after George Russell held him back. But yeah, the race was certainly an interesting one. Starting off with Max Verstappen having a horrible start with the anti-lag kicked in. Lando Norris managing to get past Lewis Hamilton, running up, I think, as high as 4th place. And then, well, it can only be described as a masterclass try from Max Verstappen to get the first non-Mercedes win of the season. Make sure he's been the most recent person still to have beaten Mercedes. And getting Honda their first win in Formula 1 in about 13 years. It was Hungaro in 2006 with Jenson Button the last time they picked up a race win. So you gotta say well done to him. And it's good for them to have proven people like Fernando Alonso wrong. And potentially Daniel Ricciardo as well, who finished the race down on 12th place. It also showed Mercedes still have a lot of problems, chiefly overheating. Now, everyone was struggling a bit with overheating this weekend, but it seemed like Mercedes still has that kind of issue. Remember a couple of seasons ago, they had the holes in the top of the car so they would cool down a bit more. But it's very much a repeat of that here. Bottas was almost overtaken by Vettel. I reckon if we went to 75 laps instead of the total 71, probably would have been overtaken by Vettel, who did a 2-stop and also managed to overtake Lewis again. However, Max Verstappen also still set the fastest lap despite the fact that Seb was on the soft tyres and Max on the hard tyres. There's no other way of saying it was an excellent drive from him today to be able to come back to get the win. Now, if you're here to hear about my review, you're probably here to hear about the incident on the penultimate lap when Verstappen managed to overtake Leclerc by going wide and basically pushing him off the track. And so you're probably here to hear my opinions, and you're probably expecting me to think that there is case for a penalty. And you could always argue there is. Like, there was space on the right-hand side for Verstappen to let him through. That's pretty much it, really. Otherwise, pretty much everything else says that there wasn't enough evidence for a penalty. Verstappen was ahead of Leclerc. He was full lock on his wheel. At the same time, it was a repeat of a move that had happened the lap prior. But you can't help but feel like I really wanted Honda to win a race this season, and I guess it was because I thought Leclerc was going to get his first race win that I wasn't as happy as I really should have been that Honda were able to pick up a race win. Like, think about it now, I'm like, this is amazing. The Honda have managed to get their first win in 13 years, their first win in the turbo hybrid era, and been able to prove people like Ricciardo, but moreover for me, Alonso, wrong. But it was just this instance in a whole mired controversy. Like, honestly, this is one thing for me whenever I'm talking about these things, and it involves usually Verstappen or Vettel, I end up going, honestly. I can see why people think there should have been a penalty. I can. But I have to agree, I don't think there should have been. And especially because it was Ferrari going forward. There's something I said back in Canada with Vettel's penalty. I was like, they shouldn't overturn Vettel's penalty if Ferrari appeal, because that will give the idea that Ferrari are able to have a say over the FIA, and they already have enough power in regards to the ruling in Formula 1, getting more money just for being Ferrari, for example. But at the same time, it's gone to the point now where we are thinking there could be room for a penalty here, which I think is a bit of a problem. Now, part of it is due to the way the Red Bull ring is. That's why we saw so many penalties in qualifying. It's not really one place that you can do a good warm-up and cool-down lap, because you're going to end up coming into traffic, or being the traffic that people come into. So it's almost the case that there was going to be some kind of speculation about it being a penalty. Really, I think we jumped too much into the rule book. It's something that Verstappen said when he got one at Monza. They're doing a great job of killing racing. Like, I am a bit peeved that Leclerc didn't get the win. I really am. I'm hoping he's not going to be one of those drivers now that gets so many pole positions but can never convert it to a victory, because of issues where it's like the other car that does win is faster, or his guy has an issue, like in Bahrain. I hope he wins before the end of the season, because the guy deserves it. But I don't hope he wins through someone else getting a penalty. And I hope he wins through Ferrari strong-arming the way into it. Because there are a lot of cases where I like Leclerc, I like Vettel, but I don't really like Ferrari. I don't know if it's the way Binotto is, that they're so eager to push for penalties or for repealing of penalties. But it just doesn't work. Let's just hope, however, that next time out in Silverstone, it's a decent race. It probably won't be. It'll probably be Mercedes dominance again, but it was nice to have a race where it wasn't. It was nice to have a race where it very nearly had no Mercedes on the podium at all. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye for now.